Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Channel Your Light. Own Your Intuitive with myself, Erin Chandler. You feeling all those full moon vibes? The message that's coming through on here is so freaking intense right now. The first card that flipped out, I'm pulling cards because I was told specifically to get the Rose Oracle for whoever's message this is for. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this makes total sense. This card flipped out. This card is After the Rain. It came out in another reading, but you'll notice rainbows happen after the rain when we have expressed the floodgates of our emotions outside of us and we've purged them. Our vessel is then empty and ready to be replenished with the rainbow after the rain. The next card when I'm in the deck is the reunion card. You might think it's reunion as a romantic aspect, but I'm actually seeing it as the reunion of the self. Notice that it's the two sides of the self, the masculine, the feminine. We're talking about old world wounding. Got it. And you'll notice the three phases of the feminine in there. You'll notice all the light beings around them. The reunion, the words on it is soul recognition, collaboration, partnership, and friendship. And here's what's interesting. The song that's playing really intensely, and the reason why I was told to sit down and channel this right now, the song that's playing it's by Melissa Etheridge. I wanna come over to hell with the consequence. You told me you love me. That's a love message for somebody, that's for sure. Morning dew, clarity, a fresh start, and a positive outlook. I want to go back to this. I want to come over energy. Yes, let me tell you, the I want to come over energy is somebody recognizing the depth and the breadth of their emotional expression. It's almost like I'm seeing somebody's house of self where all the doors are barred up and it's like this very tight, compact energy that somebody has. Whoever's singing this song to somebody on here, it's like they have this house of self that's been, the windows got covered up with wood and shaded in, and the doors are locked and there's like a bar in them. It's like a locked house of self. But what's also I'm seeing is the water inside their house of self. It's like it's flooding and they're trying at any cost to stop the emotion from rolling out of them as if they might drown, as if they go there, then they're going to completely lose control. I lose control. Oh, I love that song. Okay, so they're trying not to lose control, but this is a scorpionic energy, which is the absolute death and rebirth of whoever this is, trying to maintain control. It's a hermit mode. Somebody who's been in a hermit mode for a really long time. Whoa, do you see the stuff going across my screen right now? Whoa, I'm not a techie, but I saw that. That was crazy wild. And I have no incense going, no candles, nothing, I'm not burning anything. Spirits like confirmation or validation for somebody on here. We're purging old world wounds, which means if you're the kind of person who locks up everything inside and doesn't engage, you're about to overflow, is what I'm hearing for that person. That's the message from your guides. And this is a wonderful thing because it creates a soul recognition reunion within you of all of your, I want to say gates, all of your gates open, where all of your wisdom can finally be embodied in your energy, because you finally just lost control, allowed yourself to lose control and let things go so that the rainbow can come in. This actually gives you clarity, a fresh start, and a positive outlook. The reason you barred up your windows, closed your doors, and stuck the bar inside the doors so that nothing gets out was actually, so I'm hearing a couple messages for a couple of people on this. One, I have somebody's got a team of guys here for you saying you've been locked into hermit mode to ensure that your energy, does not get tainted by others while you move through your transformation. You may view it as as this place that you don't want to be, or place that you don't want to go. It's almost like you do not like the inside of your house of self, but you also don't like anything outside of it. It's this dynamic that they're giving me for that. It's very curious and strange, but your team of guides is saying, no, we are flushing that out. You are going to be flooded with all of the things that you have kept hidden within you from your subconscious, which ultimately creates a reunion. Because with second dimension, it's the expression. When we have an experience and we don't fully express it, it lives within us and continues to loop and show up until we fully express it, understand what we're supposed to understand from it. But listen, this old world wounding, purging, the flood of the house of self, there, I'm hearing somebody's guide laughing. There ain't no bar that can stop this flood. There is no barring of windows, no amount of stuff that you nail onto the windows to make sure that nothing is seen. It doesn't matter. It's going to be flooded out and through. And that's because we need you to be purged so that we can bring the rainbow, so that you can have the clarity and the positivity. Old world wounding. That's a specific message for a masculine on here. I'm going to pull in another card. What's the purpose of this spirit? It's the energy of the moon illumination and the tides ebbing and flowing. We've had Neptunian, which is the deep, profound psyche of us that's been playing around and transiting with the moon, along with Jupiter and Uranus. But that Neptunian energy is the deep psyche of the self. And if we're switching into a new era or a new psyche, oh my goodness, we have to have a heart healing of the old world wounds. The breathing rose. This card is so powerful. It says heart healing, emotions, connection, and time eases. A woman on there with a rose in the center of the heart. If the heart is the bridge and the bridge is broken because the heart is broken, the star cannot shine at its full capacity, shine out its beautiful light. If it is broken, scarred, has a pentacle missing from it, I don't know why it's coming through as a pentacle missing from it, but that's what it's coming through as. And I'll just trust that for somebody on here. But there's a heart healing that's happening, and it is this floodgate. And the heart healing, whoever this is, they don't want it to happen, or they don't understand why it's happening. Therefore, they're resisting it by barring up their windows, closing up the door, and putting a bar in it. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to feel that. But it's within you. You're trying to stop it from coming outside of you, not recognizing that everything comes from within you. You're not going to get lost in the flood. You're going to be you're going to be, instead of being, flooded by those expressions, those emotions, they're going to purify you. They're going to give you a soul recognition. They're going to empty the vessel of the shit that you don't want. And you think holding it in is, you think that you saying, I don't want to feel that, it's going to make you not feel that. But the truth is you feel that. And the more you try to not feel that, the bigger the flood or the tsunami becomes, right? This is the breathing rose. This is a heart healing. This time frame is meant for us to heal old world wounds. So if you are wildly emotional, that's also Neptunian energy in the scorpionic death and rebirth that is meant to happen. This is meant to be a heart healing of emotions, because the heart is the bridge. It's the emotive stance of us. It is, if I think a thought and I have no emotion connected to it, there's a neutrality in it. And while it's powerful, it doesn't have the same power as when you got a deep emotion backing it up and rolling forward with the thought that creates an intense electromagnetic, I'm seeing lightning strikes, emotional aspects of us, that heart healing. I'm being reference of the rose in the previous channel. I don't know if it's been posted yet. Hopefully it does. Where the rose, there's a rose who's about to bloom, was the one for the high priestess, and all the thorns had been sheared off. It's the same metaphor. It is meant for the rose to bloom above, no longer in a duality, but in a oneness. Look at the symbolism and omens on the card, but it's the recognition of the self. It's the soul recognition. It's the reunion within you, collaborating with you, having a partnership with you, having a clear partnership with yourself to create the life that you want to create and love the way you want to love in its full synergistic flow, rather than having your masculine that's wounded or your feminine that's wounded within you, creating distorted thoughts with distorted emotions. That's the lightning strike in the tower. Somebody, you're having an emotional tower. I know the tower can mean many things, sudden changes, but I'm being told this is an emotional tower. The floodgates opening. I'm literally watching whoever's house of self that is that's trying to keep it all inside. listen, it's like the water bursts your doors open. It bursts out through the windows. It doesn't matter what you do to try and stop it. It's a heart healing and it's for you. And you're not going to see it coming, whoever that's for. Next card out. This gives you a second bloom. I don't know why that's important for somebody on here. That's a direct, specific reference for somebody. It allows you to have a second bloom, a clean slate where you are wiser, your heart is more open. Because of this tower moment and these floodgates opening and all these things happening and all the tumultuous emotions and connection and heart healing, it allows you to be able to have a second bloom. It allows you to be able, it says a second chance, it's never too late, new possibilities. In order to bloom a second time, it's like you bloomed once, but you drowned in it and it caused you to shut everything up inside of you, not allowing you to have a second bloom. But the divine is like, no, you came here for the second bloom. In fact, the second bloom is better than the first bloom. It's like a setup for you. This whole thing is like a setup. This whole rain, purging emotions, allows you to have a soul recognition, free flowing of you. It gives you the morning dew, clarity, fresh start, positive outlook, which is a heart healing of emotions, which gives you the second bloom. I don't know why, but whoever this is, your second bloom is, it is spectacular. The color of your bloom, like there's the first bloom and you thought it was the bee's knees and the best thing ever. And then it all went wrong. It all went sideways. All this beautiful light went all this dark. And this may have happened a long time ago and you didn't see it coming then. And then you barred up your house because it was like, I can't trust me and I can't trust spirit and I can't trust people. And it just created all these stories. But you went through the first bloom to actually prepare you, to give you the nourishment for this second bloom. So you could say old earth is the first bloom, new earth is the second bloom, if you want to put it like that. And this can't bloom. It's not getting enough sunlight. It's not getting what it needs in order for you to have the second bloom. Hence why the divine is stepping in with the energy, creating that rainfall, that tower of emotions exploding outside of you. For somebody on here, you have deep, again, I feel like this is connected to the person that's been harboring deep emotions that they haven't expressed. And listen, friends, we all have deep emotions and it is hard to express deep emotions, particularly when they've been ruminating for a long time for somebody. The divine is very clear. The process you are going through right now is intended to give you clarity and a fresh start so that you can have that synergistic energy within you, a heart healing with emotions so that you can have the second bloom. Because the second bloom is better than the first one. The second bloom has way more petals, way more brilliant colors, is way stronger, and it lasts for the rest of your lifetime. And that doesn't mean it's going to stay the same in this second bloom. But I feel like somebody on here, you thought the first bloom was going to last a lifetime, and it didn't. And it jarred you, and it made you lose faith in other people and other things. But it was actually had to happen that way for this second bloom. So spirit is literally yanking. I'm seeing a tub full of water. It's like pulling the plug, allowing all the water to come out and down so that there's nothing in the tub. That's the one thing, draining out other people's energy for some of you. And for others of you, it's going to explode out of you. All this stuff you've been keeping in behind closed doors in your house of self, trying not to feel it, trying to stuff it down, that are coming out. And it's coming out as a heart healing. It's coming out to clear your vessel, I want to say. And these are, for some of you, these are deep wounds. If you haven't already seen already, I did in one of our Channel Your Lights Divine Feminine communities, we did a guided meditation, which was extremely powerful. And it was intended for this deeply emotive death and rebirth, heart healing, and connection with your guides, internal self, deep subconscious, for healing and empowerment to raise up to the surface from the depths of your ocean, your pearls, your diamonds, and your power, and activating the original soul blueprint. I will link that in the pinned comments below if you feel called to do that meditation, or if you feel drawn to that. I would recommend it, and so did everybody else in the group that did it with us live. And it's just so powerful. And it really is also a heart healing and an activation. And basically we're raising up from the ocean, the depths of the ocean, of you, something in your deep subconscious that's ready to be healed and felt and heard, and the pearls and the diamonds to be risen from the depths of the ocean for a death and a rebirth. It's like we lose what we don't need anymore at the bottom of the ocean. We leave it there, but what do we bring up? Woo! What do we bring up from the bottom of the ocean? Our pearls and diamonds, black diamonds and pearls, the rose thread, inner call, soul-led mystic, the mystic living courageously. So interesting, because part of the process is she's raising stuff from the water. Oh, you can't make this up. When you guys listen to this guided meditation and allow yourself to sink into it and experience it, it is profound. That's what some of the responses were. Some of the people in there had absolutely profound experiences. Is very deep. So if you're not prepared for deep, maybe don't do it. But if you're prepared for deep and a soul cleansing, by all means, I'll link it in the video description box below as a top pinned comment. That's what we're doing in this reading. This person that wants to come over, listen, I don't know whose energy this is. I will trust that I'm connecting held, sureness of the soil, unseen help, support, and community. This is the energy. There's somebody who's going through such a deep transformation from one version of them or embodiment of them into another. This kind of a transformation is like spending one day embodying the old version of you, and then the next day you're suddenly embodied in the new version of you. It's like going back and forth between the two of them, where both are raising you up and purging you. This is directly from the Earth Dragon channel. In that channel of that fluid energy, we described that we would be releasing old leaves, but also emerging new saplings. Both would be happening at the same time. That was intended both for then, but also for now, is this preparing for the scorpionic deep transformation. Notice in the card, I don't know if you guys can see that clearly, held. You are being held by the divine in this egg, in the deep womb of transformation and rebirth. See the individuated soul laying there completely surrendered to the transformation, allowing the divine to work its magic around you. This is wild that some of this stuff came up in that meditation. Yeah, it's actually blowing my mind. I'm to pull one more card from this deck, and then we're going to move to another deck. The wild rose. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. This ignites the wild roses. Wild horses. I'm hearing wild horses, but wild rose. Do it your way. Embrace your uniqueness. Become untamed, no longer weighed down by the unexpressed emotions of the previous experiences of the past. That's what this is all taking you to. Notice it's three of her as one, the three-dimensional aspects of her, or the three facets. So mother, maiden, crone, inner child, you yourself as now, and your higher self, all embodied as one, allows you to become untamed. I lose control. I lose control. That's what's coming in. Somebody needs to allow themselves to lose control, not allow their minds to structure and traject everything. Allow their emotions to be expressed. It allows you to become untamed, unbound, unraveled, unchained, which brings you to that beautiful clarity, the freeness of energy, the lightness, that new earth. This is old world wounding that we are purging at this time. In bulk, I'm being told to go to the in bulk deck. Let me grab this here, friends. So this whole I want to come over energy is really interesting that that's how it began, but I feel like the old world wounding is because of a love relationship, which was the first bloom, which you expected to last a lifetime, but in fact, that's not meant to last a lifetime. Your second bloom is meant to be the second phase of your life, but it's not happening because you're clinging to an old world wound or a deep hidden wound that's been plaguing you or something like that from a very long time ago. This could be a parent-child dynamic. It could be a sibling dynamic or a romantic dynamic, and you'll know which one it is for you. But it's time to purge that because we're just waiting for the second bloom. Honey, we're all waiting for you to bloom. We're all waiting for that second bloom. The first one was not meant to last a lifetime. Ooh, I got 2 cards pulled out with that one. This is interesting. 2 flipped over. The first one, card number 34. I don't know if that number is significant for you, but it's river rocks. This is about the duality of the black and the white, the dark and the light. Go with the currents. You can't make this up. I love it. Go with the currents of the river, dear one. Find peace in letting go. Let life wash over your soul and welcome your becoming. Do you see the interconnectedness, the deep river of the emotions, river rocks? See how she's stacking the white rocks? This is what the divine is doing for you. See how she is circled in the divine white rocks, the river rocks. And there's, I don't know what that's from, the Anukshuk, that's what's coming in, Anukshuk, those rocks. It represents something. So take it what it means for you. Notice she is dressed in black, but underneath is white. It's light. Notice that the beautiful light moon there has the crescent of the darkness, the dark side of your moon, illuminating the dark feminine woundings, old world woundings. This is clearly for a divine feminine. Perhaps it's for a divine masculine who has had wounding from a feminine as well, both and, let me tell you. So don't make this about a woman or a man or I'm this or I'm that. It's about the energy within you. We all have wounds from different people in our lives. Everyone plays a role in your story. You are being called to flush out and express all the roles that all the other people have played in your story so that you may become the story maker. No, this is another message for somebody else on here. The owl is holding you tender and deep, and this is about the story. Whoever has held you in their story, their energy that they have spoken about you in their story has negatively impacted you. And I feel like you're being called to remove all others' energies and how they've placed you in their story because it was not in a positive light. But so too is this a reflection of if you have a story and you're holding somebody in a negative light, vice versa. Be aware, wise ones. Be aware of the roles that you have placed others into your story. Did they feed your soul and nourish it? Did they teach you a lesson? Was there a command of darkness that appeared to be darkness, but really was taking you to this, the second bloom? Somebody may view the first bloom as that person is the perpetrator in their role for a negativity or the darkness or the bad person or the bad guy. But in truth, as we move into this new shift in paradigm, the wise owl says, no, my dear, what you have viewed as darkness was bringing you to the light to rebirth you into a completely untamed version of you. The person you have put into the role as the bad guy, the negative thing, was actually the catalyst to make you come into the state of untamedness, to heal the old world wounds through the experience with them. This is a paradigm shift you are asking to leap into, leaps and bounds into right now. I'm seeing it's a leap year for a reason. I'm seeing the 4-leaf clover. It's 4-leaf clover, not a 3-leaf clover, because 4 is a transcendence. Baby, I'm the lucky one. You will begin to view who you have placed in different roles in your story in a completely different paradigm where there is no longer a bad guy. It has fueled the rebirth and your second bloom. Let's go, dear heart. Go with the current of the emotions. Allow yourself to be purified and washed clean so that we can bring back that rainbow. I don't know whose message this is, but woo! Horned owl. What does this card mean? Become the shadow that watches, keeping quiet while moving intentionally. So that's an interesting message for somebody, which I feel doesn't align with what this message is. However, take it as it resonates. Who am I to say that's not a specific line message for somebody on here? But I'm just feeling like it's in that darkness. Embrace the shadow of your wisdom. Embrace the shadow. Go into the subconscious of the original wound so you can purge the old world wounding. It's very important at this time. Embrace become the shadow that watches. Oh my gosh, I'm just realizing what that means right now. And it's related to this meditation. We were asked to observe, that we went through a process of going deep into the subconscious, into that deep watery of viewing the shadows, and we were asked to observe them as we moved through the tunnels before we could raise up the pearls of wisdom from the shadows. Notice this and this have the same moon. Can you guys see that? See, it's that crescent, the crescent of darkness or the dark side of the moon, but there's also the illumination. Notice in this one, it's purifying it just as her dress. And notice this one, it is golden ray frequency with the candles lit beneath it, golden wisdom, also a full moon above it. It's fascinating. It's the different waxing and waning of the moon. Let me tell you, I'm hearing the different phases of the moon provide different knowledge and wisdom and awareness. It is a profound mapping system that, when utilized as a guide, can help us to navigate the waters of our subconscious, our emotions, and our experiences. Arts and crafts, creativity, nothing exists without the essence of spirit. May it be whispers or chants. Your energy is what your energy is what brings life to all that you create. So if you are creating with whispers or chants or thoughts, a negative or bashing someone, oh, somebody's bashing somebody because they've made them the bad guy, they've made them the bad person in the role. Your energy is what brings that to life. Choose wisely. Are you going to choose to bring that to life, which just brings you more wounding, permeates your vessel, or you're just going to let go and go with the river and the current and be purified, only to recognize that that person was actually helping you to get to this state? I'm not saying that we tolerate poor behavior or negative behavior or taking away or toxic behavior. That's not what this message is. It's not allowing the poison of what that toxic thing happened to stop you from having your second bloom, but rather to nourish it and utilize it. Somebody needs to hear it in that way because of the experience you've had, deep childhood trauma, unspeakable things, whoever that message is for. This is not me saying it's okay what they did and it was supposed to bring you light. That's not what I'm saying at all for somebody who's taking it in that way. Thank you. One of your guides is saying that I needed to acknowledge that for somebody on here who has witnessed and experienced deep, deep, horrific trauma as a child. This is not saying it was meant to bring you to a second bloom. Side note, so we're just separating these so that you have an awareness of this message if that's you, or we're triggered by that, or an anger came out. Sometimes we have horrific experiences because we're the one that's going to stand up and speak about it so that it changes things for everyone here on the earth plane there afterwards. And in that way, you're the creator of the new earth where that shit doesn't happen. I'm not sure who that message is for, but this is coming up for deep sexual wounds or sexual trauma, something in that aspect that's happened. This is not meant to be a trigger, but I will tell you that your second bloom is not because they did this to make you a better person. You actually came here to birth the new earth and illuminate that kind of stuff so that it's not behind closed doors and it comes out into the open, and you don't carry the poison of what that was, but rather create a world that is safe for others that don't have to experience that. And you, my friends, all this emotion is coming up with it, whoever this message is for, you are loved so deeply. Don't let that poison permeate you anymore. Shed it, dear heart. You didn't come here to spend your life carrying it. You came here to create a world that shit is not tolerated and doesn't happen, if that makes sense. You'll know if that message is for you. Again, I'm not going deeply into that, but I'm being told that it's important that I highlight that, right? I have a team of guides right here saying we need to talk about it. That's why I'm being told to talk about it. And we're being told to talk about it for the purposes of healing for you, for whoever that message is for healing, to be held and supported by the divine sureness of the soul. You are being held right there in that transformative egg, releasing all the poison, resurrecting what was stolen in the wounding. It is so that you can create this new earth and era, illuminating what needs to be illuminated, which can no longer be tolerated by those who have integrity of the soul I don't know why it's coming out but like that, but it is. For those who have an integrity of virtue. How do I piece that together, spirits? We are coming into an era where those things that are hidden behind closed doors, the dark, deep entanglement of roots, can no longer happen or exist because it is no longer tolerated, and enough people have illuminated it, healed from it, and created a whole new energy, a whole new platform, a whole new root system, which is this new earth energy, dawning of the age of Aquarius. Whoever this message is for, you're going through a deep healing right now, and it is the divine that's holding you for it. Oh, my heart. Oh, my heart for you. This card of arts and crafts and creativity and focusing on the things that bring you joy. And I don't know why, but this card is actually in a reference to whoever this person's message is. It is doing art therapy, it is painting, it is using music, it is creating from your soul. There's almost like this need for your soul to express outside of it in a physical, tangible form of something in order to, this is either being your healing process for some of you on here, is something you're entertaining now as part of your process, will be profoundly transformative. And there's a collective soul group, huge, that's purging this right now. I need you to know it is going to take you to clarity, a fresh start, a positive outlook. We're going backwards in the cards now. This process is going to give you a positive outlook, no longer carrying the embodiment. I'm seeing like dark wounds within you, or dark tarry things entangled in your root system energy. And that's what's being disentangled and purged from you, to give you that clarity, that positive outlook, no longer having that poison. You're not carrying the poison around with you. And it allows you to have a reunion with your soul self, mother, maiden, crone, your inner child, you in the present moment, and your higher self back into alignment, collaborating, a partnership to allow you to really root a fresh root system. It's also, it allows the rainbow to be seen by you. And it's through this process. Go with the current, dear one. Find peace in letting go. Let life wash over your soul and welcome your becoming, which is new possibilities, a second chance at life that hasn't been tainted by that darkness. The powers within you. I'm seeing whoever this message is for, there's a giant key within you, which is the breathing rose. Heart healing, healing the broken heart, taking the star and healing it so it can shine once more. Oh. The old world wounding has happened from externally, created the wounding internally, which we embodied and began to operate from. And when we have the great awakening, all this floods up from the subconsciousness, up from the deep emotive ocean of us, rising up into the consciousness, allowing us to see that's the great awakening, where the wounding is and the distortions. Then we have the great chaos, which is the turbulence and the energy around us, and everything getting scattered in the hurricane tsunami of us, this scattering of all this when we become aware of it. And then we have the great healing, where the great divine pours through us. We dive into the healing nature energy. We express the emotions, and then we have the rebalancing. This is an internal process for every individuated soul. That is what's happening on the earth plane outside of us, because it's happening within each of us. The more people who go through a great awakening, the more there is a chaos, then there is a healing, then there is a balancing. Everything is a process. For those of you who feel this energy so deeply, this message is for you, and it's about old world wounding that we have embodied in our divine feminine or our divine masculine. Everyone will be different. For some of you, you've got both, which have created this great distortion looping. See how it loops when we don't have an opening or an awakening of something? Light bulb moment. That's the great awakening, the divine opening to show us those two things. I am sending my love to all of you that is going through this process right now, because it's from the center point of the one, of no longer having these distortions. You then come into the synergy of them being one thing and not battling against each other. This message is complete. God, Spirit is so good. Spirit is so good, my friends. I'm just in awe. I feel deep reverence right now for each and every one of you and your processes and the divine, and how the divine orchestrated this today. Again, last thing, if you want to do that guided meditation that takes you deep into the quantum fields of your subconscious energy and your psyche, because this is very Neptunian energy right now, to embrace this positive, clear vessel, rainbow vessel, psyche of the new earth, or the dawning of the age of Aquarius. I'll link that in the pinned comments, and I'll catch you all in the next video.